if we came from a single essence, and that essence is God, then who are you?
Good question.
This one up, talk now.
Come on.
I'm going to say that again. If we came from a single essence,
Yes, sir.
and that essence is God, then who
Come on with
are
that.
you?
Tell it. Yes, sir.
And if God created us in his image and after his likeness, then I ask you, brothers,
Come on.
who are you?
Yes, sir.
Don't you tell me African American.
Come on. Come on.
I don't want to hear that.
No, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Don't you tell me I'm a Jamaican.
Oh, no.
I'm a Trinidadian. I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a Nigerian.
No, that won't get it.
No, that's not going to get it. Because no physical defining can define the nature in which we are created. The earth can't give us definition.
No, sir. Come on.
We're bigger than the earth.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Come on.
We are made to master the earth.
Yes, sir.
Who are you, black man?
Come on.
The Holy Quran says Allah created man. In one part of the Quran it says from black mud, and he fashioned him into shape.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's powerful. You mean the first man, God, you created from black mud and you fashioned him into shape?
All right.
Is that anything to do with the ancient house of worship of the Muslims? And that black stone, does that have anything to do with the ancient original house
Teach on this. Everything.
fashioned from black mud
Yes, sir.
into shape?
Come on.
Man is not complete with just a physical make. Even though the Quran says, I have created you in the best of makes. There is no creature in the heavens above or in the earth beneath that has a better, more unique and magnificent make than the make of the human being.
Yes, sir.
But the human being is complete yet incomplete when the physical is finished. So God said, and I breathed into him
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
of my inspiration,
Yes, sir.
and he became a living soul. Without the breathing,
Yes, sir.
not of the oxygen in the atmosphere, but without God's breathing into us,
Yes, sir.
his word, his truth, his inspiration, you can never be as he is.
Yes, sir.
I want you to listen good now. If I put my hand on my brother's neck, which I would never do, stand up here, brother, which I would never do, and I squeeze my brother's neck, soon he would lose consciousness.
Yeah.
If I kept it up, soon he would lose life.
I hear you, brother, man.
It isn't that something came out.
Little man.
It was the failure of something to come in.
That's right. No little man, brother. That's right.
Did you hear what I said?
No little man, brother.
Now,
No little man. Good teacher.
how could the man be void if he were connected to the source of life? Somebody came in between, something coming into him. So he became a physical body,
Yes, sir.
but he couldn't be the similitude and likeness of God because the breath, the wisdom,
Yes, sir.
the knowledge, was not in him. And that's why you dissatisfied with the black man. It's not because he doesn't have the potential.
Right.
Your husband is a good man. Your son is a good boy. Your male members have tremendous potential.
Yes, sir.
But something has got them around the neck, keeping inspiration from coming in. So you got a black man's body, but a mind that is degenerate and sick, that has made him void. Let's talk about that.
Come on.
Are y'all all right?
That's all right.
Oh, thank you for the water. I caught a little cold, but it ain't gonna stop me from doing my work. Bear with me a few more minutes, okay?
Go ahead. Take your time.
God made this man out of black mud. Then he called the angels according to the Quran.
Yes, sir.
All the angels, he said, make obeisance to Adam.
Yeah.
I said, what does that word obeisance mean? Mean make submission.
Yeah.
To Adam. Angels don't bow to men unless men have been made superior
Yes, sir.
to angels.
Yeah.
Angels bow to God. So what did God make when he made man in his image? He made a God.
Yes, sir.
But when you have Men's Day, it's because you are not God. You have fallen and become man. Man is not God.
Yeah.
Man is man without God.
Yes, sir.
But when man reconnects to God and the wisdom of God is brought back to man, there is no more man, there is only God. Ye are all God's children of the Most High God.
Yeah. Yes, sir. In there, brother. Yes, sir. Hold in there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're in there now. Woo.
Now you man.
Yes, sir. Come on. Yes, sir.
And you're not even man. Now you have degenerated to beasts, where you live the life of the lower animals. You're not worthy to be called God. Men stalking women and women stalking men. Men stalking men and women stalking women. Working that which is unseemly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unseen. Yes, sir.
We're in bad shape.
Man.
And we're in bad shape because we are covered with the teaching and guidance of one who is less than God.
That's right.
The Caucasian people who have become our guides are the children of a lesser God.
Yes, sir. Hello. Hello. Hello.
And these children of a lesser God
Dig it out, brother.
rule over
Yeah.
the people of God. And since we have been made to bow down to them as God beside God, they said, let us make niggas. Let us make coons. Let us make whores, pimps, prostitutes, homosexuals, lesbians, robbers, thieves, liars, non-productive human beings. And because we bowed to that, we have come to this. And so, as long as this remains, that precious young daughter of yours, Reverend Willie Wilson, won't have a chance, because she'll fall in love with less than God. And she, like these, might be unfulfilled and frustrated and confused, where they think that they really don't matter anymore.
Yes, sir.
And they eat and they eat and they eat in frustration. And they get fatter and fatter and fatter. And they go to church and they give their money.
Come on.
And they praise God for Jesus.
Come on.
And Jesus becomes the substitute
Come on. Come on.
for the lack of a real spirit-filled man in their life.
My God.
And the preacher becomes a pimp and a hustler in the name of Jesus. And the cycle of madness continues. But the Spirit of God moved on the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light.
Yes.
The Spirit of God moving on the face of the waters only means that in the nature of the mass of the people, they are dissatisfied with their condition. They know they can do better. They want to do better, but who will guide them in doing better? There must be a man present. There must be a God present to move on the water with his Spirit, to bring up out of the water the energy of light. Just like Moses was drawn out of water.
Yes, sir.
And Jesus said, I am the light of the world. So what you're looking for is a human being produced from the spirit of your own longing for change.
Yes, sir.
Oh, please listen. You're not looking for a spirit to come down out of the sky.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
You are looking for the womb of a precious woman to produce a child. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and a government shall be upon his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the Everlasting Father. But he's a child born of a woman.
Yes, sir.
Bear with me just a few more minutes.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Do you know why we're having all these problems in our homes? Our women have become a problem to us as men because we don't know how to handle you. We don't know what to do to make you happy. We give you little trinkets and you're happy for a minute, perhaps a second. but certainly not more than an hour. Because reality says you're more than a thing. And giving women things is nice, but there's something deeper than a diamond, deeper than gold, deeper than cars, deeper than homes to feed the woman. For she's not the woman of man. She's the woman of God. And only when you and I come back to God and become God will you really see what God has put in the woman for us all. Follow me. Now I want to look at the nature of man and the nature of woman. Because unless we know the nature of a thing, we don't understand the actions of that which we're looking at. You all right? Look at the Bible. It says, after God made the man, he said, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it. And he gave the man power and dominion over the fowl of the air, the fish of the sea, and every creeping thing that crawls upon the earth. Do you know why there's not a lot of men in the church, but there's a lot of men in Union Temple Baptist? You don't see men like this in churches.
No, you don't.
You don't see men like this in churches. Church got a lot of old men, tired men. Am I telling the truth? The youth are in the street. They're not coming to church, but they come here. What is it about a man that makes a man attracted to the gospel? And what is it about a woman that makes us so attracted to the gospel and to the man Jesus?
Yes, sir.
Oh, brother.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on.
If by nature God gave man power and dominion, then men cannot be a man unless he has power in order to exercise dominion.
Yes, sir.
That's the nature of every man. And whether you agree with me or not, in his nature, he knows he's supposed to have some power.
Yes, sir.
And he knows he's supposed to have rule, especially in his own house. And therefore, if he does not have the knowledge of how to establish his rule,
Yes, sir.
and the woman see him weak and ineffective, then she look at him and say, I ain't bowing down to this. I ain't gonna respect this. Why, I control him. Anytime I want him to do something, I know what to do for him. So it becomes a game that we play. You use your nature as a woman to put him in a condition where you can manipulate him and guide him around by his nose. So the Bible said, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. That's not the nature in which God created this thing to go. And she can't respect no man that she rules. I'm going to say that again. She cannot respect any man that she rules because her dominion is over children.
That's right.
And when she rules you, you become her child. And that's why, take it or leave it, And that's why your favorite word is that MF word, because she's your mother instead of your wife. You wasn't looking for a wife, because when you look for a wife, you're looking to carry out a responsibility and a sacred duty. But when you're looking for a mother, you're looking for somebody to nurture you and take you by the hand and stroke you and do all kind of childish things to comfort a sniveling, crying little black baby. And that's why adultery is in the house of the black man. That's why our women don't stay in our bed. Anybody's bed will do, because she's still on the hunt, not for Red October, but for a black man in September. The nature of the black man, the nature of all men, is to multiply, not sexually. I mean, that's part of it. But, you know, that's so academic. You know what I mean? You don't have to have a PhD degree to do that kind of multiply. But when you say multiply, you have a multiplier, a multiplicand, and a product. God said multiply, replenish the earth. He's telling man, look at what I put in you. Look at what I put around you. You are the multiplier. This is the multiplicand. Now bring you up a product. That's the nature of man. He's to multiply.
Yes, sir.
He's to be a producer. And in productivity, he finds expression for the gifts of God that are within his being. And in finding the gifts of God within his being by becoming productive, he then glorifies his creator.
Yes, sir.
Man is the glory of God.
Yeah.
But if man is not productive of good and of righteous civilization, what does he need a woman for? That's our problem. We want a woman, but we don't want to know how to produce. You're taking fire into your bosom when you want a woman, but you don't want to know how to become productive. Because whether she understands it or not, she's looking for you to be productive. Her nature is to help you if you're doing something, but she can't help you to do nothing. So if you're doing nothing, don't bother with a woman, because you're taking fire into your bosom. She'll burn you in the night and burn you in the day. Come on, baby, light my fire. She'll light it all right. Because a non-productive man, I don't care how handsome you look, you become ugly to your mate.
Yes, sir.
Listen now. That's your nature. What is her nature? In the Bible, God says he created the woman from the man to be the help meet. Not M-E-A-T. But the M-E-E-T. Yeah, what that mean? Help me. Help me.
Go ahead, brother.
It means that God has given man a duty, a responsibility to become a producer. You don't produce without help, and you can't find a better helper to do anything in this world than a woman who believes in her man. Now, what did God put in you? See, your nature is to nurture, and your nature is to comfort and console. So the Quran says, in the woman he should find peace and quiet of mind. Not quiet of body, but quiet of mind. How do you rest his mind, sister? When that man is productive when he comes home, he needs to rest and draw strength again to go back and produce some more. So God gives him a woman who knows how to comfort and console, and look, not only knows how, happy to do it because he's so productive. Here comes that man of mine. Here he comes. Get it all ready for him because he's coming on home. Wait a minute, children. I got to get pretty for my man. He's coming home. She ain't coming to the door looking like the wreck of the Hesperus. She get herself together, perfume herself.
That's right. That's right.
When he gets up to the gate, he can smell the biscuits in the oven. You say, wait a minute. I'm a professional woman. And you're a failure. Don't tell me nothing about your profession. You're a failure if you can't keep a man. No profession can make you happy. No profession. Call yourself whatever the hell you want to. If there ain't a man in your life to make you happy, your profession can never do for you what God made man to do for you. All right. Now look here. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the only heaven for man is woman. I'm going to say that again.
Go ahead.
You want to go to heaven? Heaven ain't where you go sit down. You got to work your way to heaven. You got to earn your way to heaven. You got to do something so that heaven can reward you and bless you. A woman is a blessing to a man, but she's a cursing to a non-productive fool that is masquerading in the garments of a man. Well. So now that we look at our natures, and I'm telling you, you got this nature, sister, you know it. When you find the right man, you call him Mr. Right. Mr. Right, he may not be the most handsome. At first you may say, oh. You may turn up your nose at him because you're looking for Mr. Right to be. Yeah.
Thursday night, the vibe is set. Brother Leo and Sister Claudia, you won't forget. They're bringing truth, they're bringing light. Tune in, let them spark your mind tonight. The Imagination Show. Oh, every Thursday let it flow. Oh, Brother Leo, Sister Claudia, in the glow. It's the place to be, you already know. They talk that talk, they walk the walk, breaking it down, no need for small talk. Wisdom flying like the eagle's soar. You'll leave with more than you came here for. Open your heart, let your mind expand. Feel the rhythm, take a stand. The Imagination Show. Oh, every Thursday let it flow. Oh, Brother Leo, Sister Claudia, in the glow. It's the place to be, you already know. Open your heart, let your mind expand. Feel the rhythm, take a stand. The Imagination Show. Oh, every Thursday let it flow. Oh, Brother Leo, Sister Claudia, in the glow. It's the place to be, you already know. Soulful voices on the air, breaking barriers everywhere. Turn it up, don't let it fade. Thursday nights are tailor-made. Soulful voices on the air, breaking barriers everywhere. Turn it up, don't let it fade. Thursday nights are tailor-made.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. I greet you, my dear beloved brothers and sisters in the Imagination family, in the greeting words of peace. We say it in Arabic, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Welcome, 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 dear beloved family, to another episode of the Imagination Show. My name is Brother Leo Muhammad, and sitting alongside me is my beloved wife and dear friend, Sister Claudia Muhammad.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you all in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, beloved.
And welcome to another edition of the Imagination Show. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And I just want to say a big shout out to my sister Daisy. Thank you for tuning in. You know who you are. And also, yes, Sister Elma Muhammad, I have drank my water this week. So thank you for checking up on me. Yes, and on that note, I pray that you are all safe and well. And I'm going to say, although it may not feel like it, that you are thanking Allah for the countless blessings that we are actually receiving from him, because we are a blessed people. It may not seem like it at times, but we are blessed and we are being divinely guided and divinely protected by Almighty God.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Praise be to Allah.
What can I say? After that lecture, I said to my husband, I'm going. The minister has said, he said it all. We're just so blessed.
And that's why, this week, inshallah, based on the lecture that we were just listening to, we'll give you the title in a few minutes.
Yes, for our Caesar.
We do intend to basically just play a few of the clips that you've already seen this evening, because, family, there's a part of me that despairs a little bit when I think about the fact that not enough of us know the truth and
Yes.
are prepared to grasp the nettle, as they say, and really step out behind the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
That's right.
because that literally represents our salvation.
Absolutely.
You see, and God is really good, and He is really giving us such profound guidance today that I just, I do despair a little bit because I see so much beauty and potential power in us as a people, as Black people, as the original people of planet Earth, as the people of God. Yet I see so many of us are so complacent. So many of us are so unaware of the time and what must be done that it really hurts, And then when I reflect on the fact that despite all that we've been through over the last 500 years in the Western world at the hands of a wicked enemy and a wicked deceiver, yet as a people we continue to produce these marvelous, marvelous individuals, these powerful human beings. And by the way, I'm talking about specific individuals now, but I'm saying all of us have that same potential, have that same God force within us, and we could manifest it if we would be guided by God through those that He has placed among us to raise us.
That's right.
To a living perpendicular, raise us to a level of real life and production. Dear family, I was just reflecting on the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and how so many of us see him as a great Black man who came and created this organization in North America, where he had something like 5-6 million Black people following him. But the enemy was able to destroy him.
That's right.
See? And I wonder if we appreciate what it was that really made Marcus Messiah Garvey who he was. Family, it was the God within him.
Right.
He was a little God after the creator of the heavens and the earth. I often have mentioned the fact that there are so many things that we were disallowed as a people to engage in.
That's right.
When we think about a world like this, which is built on sport and play, and just reflect for a moment over the fact that there was a time when we were not allowed to enter a boxing ring as a Black man to fight a white man, and that they had competition globally around the world where they had heavyweight champions and bantamweight champions and middleweight champions, but they were all white people, no Blacks allowed. But then at a certain point, they allowed one Black man into the heavyweight division. What did he do? He didn't hang around fighting with bums and nobodies. He knocked out everybody and became the heavyweight champion of the world. And do you appreciate, family, that since that time they've been searching for the great white hope, whether it was Rocky Marciano, whoever came along, but Black people, Black men have dominated that sport. We dominate boxing today. There was a time when the game of golf, it was
Tennis.
a rich man's sport. Black people wasn't allowed to go into the golf clubs, into that genteel arena to play with that little white ball and those long
That's
stick-like
right.
clubs. But then a black man somehow gets in there. Tiger Woods, who was even conflicted, not like he was even convinced of his own blackness, but just having that DNA, having that G. What did he do? Did he hang around? And no, he went straight to the Masters, conquered everyone and everything, and became, magnificent and celebrated, because that's the nature of the black man.
That's right.
Family, we were not allowed to play tennis. We were not rich enough to enter again into that arena. Yet, I think it was in 1957, a black woman, her name slips me for the moment, I'm going to get it. She entered into the arena of tennis. She went straight and won Wimbledon, won all these major tournaments and major championships. One black woman. What is this? Why every time we are allowed to operate on an even playing field, we rise to the top?
right.
In the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we're taught, as you all have heard, that the cream always rises to the top. No matter how you shake up that milk, set it down, leave it for a while, you see the cream will come to the top. We are the cream of the crop, family. We couldn't afford to be involved in Formula One, motor racing, a multi-billion-dollar or multi-billion-pound race event and arena. But then one black man,
That's right.
Lewis Hamilton, comes along. What does he do? Does he hang around in the low? No, straight.
That's right.
And break so many records and become so dominant that then they have to start playing games to try to destroy him and get rid of him out of that arena. Serena and Venus Williams, they ran out of opponents.
That's right.
They ended up playing against each other in the major tournaments because nobody could challenge their supremacy. And I could go on and on and on, because it's not just in the arena of sport and play.
That's right.
I'm telling you, family, most of the inventions that we use on a daily basis today came out of the mind, out of the heart, out of the spirit, out of the genius of black people. We are not who many of us think we are. We are a very unique and special people.
That's right.
And this is what God has come, family, to enlighten us about, so that we no longer will just sit at the table, the foot of a so-called rich man's table. He's not even rich.
That's right.
Even when you talk about riches, they like to talk about Elon Musk and this one. Look, man, just think back. You see, it was Mansa Musa, a black man, that is reputed to have been the richest man ever to walk the face of the earth. What's going on here? Why is it that we're failing to recognize who we really are? And that there is no difference between that young child who is just born yesterday and those greats who were born in yesteryear. Dear family, I'm a little bit moved. I gotta be honest with you, because I went and I saw a movie. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I don't want to put no spoilers out there, but I went and saw the movie Michael. And I was moved, man. See, because I grew up in that era of Michael Jackson, the Jackson Fives. I grew up in an era when there were no black people really on the TV. See? And, cartoons and things like that. But there was this cartoon of the Jackson Five, these little brothers with afros and whatever. When I had an afro, and dancing and singing. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something very briefly. I'm telling you, family, we have no idea who we are.
That's right.
You see, that young man, he was more than who we think he was. And the enemy is so wicked. See, this is what hurts me, man. You know, how we allow them. And I'm gonna talk about our brother in South Africa one of these days soon, our brother Julius Malema, who they recently tried to sentence to 5 years in prison because he is rocking the boat, because he is saying enough is enough. We want our land back in South Africa. We want the majority of the people, the black majority, to rule in that nation and no longer to be ruled by a small minority who control all of the resources and all of the power in that place. When in 1994 Mandela came to power and that was supposed to be a transitional period, nothing happened. Our people in South Africa, the masses, never mind the artificially created black middle class that is supposed to be a buffer between the whites and the masses of our people. But nothing has changed. The masses of our people are still living in shacks and townships and struggling to even get clean water in some places, still being discriminated against, still being abused by police brutality, still family being exploited and downtrodden and disenfranchised. This is the reality, even under the so-called ANC. And so what I'm saying is, you know, understand when we pick up the mantra and the narrative of the white man against people like Julius Malema, when we pick up the mantra of the white man, the Caucasian, against Ibrahim Traore, when we pick up the mantra of the white man against any black man or black woman, imagine some of us picked up the mantra of the white man against our sister Winnie Mandela, that she was some wicked woman who did all this evil while her husband was incarcerated and she killed innocent black people. Let me tell you something, man. And so many, we fall for this. And we will vilify our own people and work, some of us, to stymie the revolutionary spirit that needs to be cultivated in order to bring about the change that the masses of our people have been yearning for, and which will come, whether you and I bring it about or not. Make no mistake about it. Our time to be free has arrived.
That's right.
And there is, I'm repeating the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught and exemplified by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. There is no power in the heavens above, nor in the earth beneath, that can prevent or stop the rise of the black man and woman today. It is our time, family.
That's right. I was going to say,
I just had to
let that out.
get that off. Go ahead, sister.
The sister that you was talking about, the tennis player,
Yes. What's
was
her name?
Althea Gibson.
That's right, Althea Gibson. What year was it?
1956.
1956.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Winning 11 total Grand Slam titles, singles.
In 1956.
Right.
Before Venus and Serena. Wow.
Just on what you're saying, you see in the Holy Quran, that's why it's so key to read this book, because it says hard trials, there's a section, hard trials are necessary to establish the truth. And that's the thing, we think, oh God, this is just so hard. It can't be right. It's so hard. And then we turn away. But the book says hard trials necessary to establish truth.
Absolutely.
Showing that we're going to have, it's a real fight.
It's a test.
It's a test.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, very, very challenging, but it's to bring out the God in ourselves.
And we have to be prepared to say, I accept the challenge.
That's right. That's right.
Don't turn away
That's right.
from the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's a sacrifice. You see, once you're born into this world, your whole life is about sacrificing. When you, as a woman, when you have a child, you sacrifice yourself to make sure I always say, as women, we press the pause button. Once you have a child, okay, you press pause on your life and you have to sacrifice your life to cater to
For
that
this new
child.
life, yes.
It's only once they get older enough, like 40, 50.
They're always your
Yeah,
child. aren't
then
they?
you take that pause button off, then you start living life. But it's about sacrificing. We never want to sacrifice. You want to lose weight, but you still keep eating. No, you got to
It's not going
sacrifice.
to work.
It doesn't.
It's not going to
You got to
work.
say, okay, I'm going to stop eating this and that. But no, we wonder why we don't get results because we're not willing to sacrifice.
We're not willing to fast.
No. But we want change. We want change, but we don't want to change. You see?
Exactly. We say from our lips
Yes,
what we're not prepared to carry into practice.
that's right. And this is how life is. You have to sacrifice. It's a hard trial, and we have to be obedient, as obedience is the highest form of sacrifice.
Highest form of sacrifice.
But we have one amongst us, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is showing us the way.
He's our example,
Oh
beloved.
gosh, a perfect example for us.
He is our example, family.
That's right. Just that,
You know?
just that lecture showing us the nature of the male and the female, what our roles are, because we've been taught by the devil.
That's right.
So this is why there's so much conflict with us.
And confusion.
That's right, absolute confusion.
Confusion
That's right.
in our
And
relationships. Yes.
Hatred.
Yes. And I was looking at so-called black comedy, and how, for instance, when I see some of the male comedians and what they're saying about the black woman, and then the black woman and what he's saying about the black man. I mean, yeah, we think, oh, it's just jest.
That's right. That's right.
There's real hatred,
By design.
And it's very sad, family.
Very sad. Well, our brother Daniel E. Muhammad says, what's so sad, Brother Leo and Sister Claudia, our people in America and throughout the world is blind, deaf, and dumb, and accuse the nation as a hate group by design.
And imagine when you hear that coming out of a black person's mouth.
Yes.
Because it's been indoctrinated into that person. You see? We've been indoctrinated to hate our own benefactors.
That's right.
Indoctrinated to hate our own liberators. My God.
Indoctrinated to hate our own selves.
Self-hatred, beloved. I mean, the lecture, we're going to get to that in a second, but the lecture is so powerful. And in that lecture, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I think I may have a clip where he mentions how we can now buy blue eyes. And some of us, we think blonde in our hair and wearing blue eyes. And we're so desperate to be other than ourselves because they've conditioned us to hate self, to think that this black complexion, this beautiful skin, this beautiful nature and character that God has given us by nature,
that's right,
is something that we need to reject and then take on board somebody else's character and somebody else's nature. Dear family, welcome to episode 231 of the Degeneration show. Today is Thursday, April the 23rd, 2026. And the title of our show today is a long one, but we don't intend for it to be a long show. It really ought to be a short show. But the title of our show today is Islam is Our Nature and Comes with Its Own Culture. Islam is our nature and comes with its own culture. And I got to say, I'm not talking to members of the Nation of Islam. I'm talking to all Black people. Whatever you call yourself, Islam is your nature. And that Islam comes with its own culture. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have to go back because my sister Daisy, thank you correcting myself. She said that Lucy Diggs, 1917, she was the first African-American woman to win a major sports title in any sport.
Wow.
In 1917, yeah, she captured the women's singles title at the inaugural tournament of the American Tennis Association.
Wow.
So thank you, Sister Daisy, for
Praise be to Allah.
Got to correct myself.
No, absolutely. And just to say, family, one of the things that we're taught in the Nation of Islam is anytime we make a mistake in the public, we must correct it in the public. And if somebody corrects us, we don't act the fool and allow ego to now get in the way of correction. So we thank our beloved sister for that correction, because it's really important that imagine 1917. Wow.
That's right.
So family, our introduction video today and the bulk of our video presentation clips have been lifted from a powerful lecture given by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on September the 19th, 1993 at Union Temple Baptist Church in Washington, D.C., entitled Our Genesis, the Making of a New Black Man. Sometimes the title of that lecture is simply put, Let Us Make Man. But the big title is Our Genesis, the Making of a New Black Man. Do you know that I was in the audience that day?
Really?
Yeah, I was blessed to be there physically. There, I was blessed to shake the hand of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that day. I traveled all the way from the UK to be at this particular gathering, this particular meeting in Union Temple Baptist Church, myself and another brother. And I was very disappointed because one of the officials in the Nation of Islam called me and put me on post on the back door of the church. Oh man, I come all the way from England, all the way from London to come and see the minister, and I'm being called to go and stand post on the back door, security on the back door of the church. And I remember I was feeling a little bit like, man, what's going on? And then the motorcade of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan came right to that back door. And I said, wow, look at that. Look at the way God works.
Exactly.
And then the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he recognized us immediately, myself and the bro from London. We shook his hand and we said, yes, Brother Minister, we're from London. And he gave us that big, beautiful smile, and the greetings. And then he went inside. And then the brother came and said, you're relieved. You can now go inside and take in the lecture. So it was a beautiful day. And it was a very powerful lecture.
Yeah, I was going to say that's why things that happen in your life.
Yes.
Everything is a test.
Everything
single thing is a test to see
how will you act, how will you behave.
Because everything is in every single thing that we see is in Allah's hands. It may not seem like it. People think there's not a God because look what's happening all over the world. But every single thing, it's nothing random.
Nothing happens without his permission, family.
That's right.
You may think, oh man, it looks so bad.
No,
it's
all planned out by God.
But you have to go through that particular situation in order to come to another level of realization.
And then you say, it's rising above emotion into the thinking of God. Then you during that time, initially, oh gosh, I've just come from, the UK. I'd like to see the minister.
Yeah.
But then in a split second,
everything changed. And I didn't show a bad spirit. I said, yes, sir. When I was instructed to go and stand post, yes, sir. And I went and stood post, and I weren't playing. I'm standing post. I'm going to, because again, in the Nation of Islam, we're a military organization, a military organization, a military outfit, a military movement.
Yes.
That's been militated by the order and the command of God. So in this lecture, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan deals extensively with the true nature of the black man and woman and what we need to do to justify our existence on the earth. See, this is why it's important to understand the nature and the culture that comes with Islam, dear family. Because when we understand our nature,
that's right,
and the real culture of Islam, and by the way, I'll just tell you straight up, the culture of Islam is righteousness. You know, it's deeper than that, it's bigger than that. There's so much nuance and other elements to it, but overall, and again, the word righteousness sometimes scares some of us. But all it means is just to be right.
That's right.
That's all. Do we want to be right or do we want to be wrong? You see what I mean? It's a choice. You know, that you can choose to turn right or turn left. But if you know that if you turn left, it's the wrong direction. Why would we want to go left if we know that that's where it leads? It's not to our ultimate destination. So choose right.
That's right.
Choose right. That's all. Just be right. Just try to be right. Try to, you know, I think last week, Sister Claudia, I think you mentioned last week about that, the voices within.
Yes.
And you know, we have to learn how to discern the voice of God within. You know, I say to young people all the time, in front of their parents, when I meet them, and some of them are wanting to talk to me, whatever, and I say to the young person, obey your mother, obey your father, stick with your mother, stick with your father. I say to the young people, your mother or your father will never advise you against yourself.
That's right.
It only appears like they don't like you when they're telling you, go and brush your teeth, go and wash, go and do this, go and tidy your room. It only appears to you in our immature state where we don't want to tidy our room and keep our place orderly and tidy, that, oh, my mom, my dad is against me. No, they're not. They're trying to coach you into a disciplined way of living that will bring you rewards just by being a person who is neat and tidy and orderly and able to organize yourself and your life.
That's right.
In the absence of that type of guidance from your parents, man, you're going to be a mess. But you'd be surprised how many young people become resentful against their parents simply because the parent is trying to guide them.
That's right.
See? I hope you get it, dear family. I really do. We are so blessed.
Absolutely.
We are so blessed. And, you know, I'm quoting stuff from this world about so-called human nature, because I just, you know, I just want you to see how, in reality, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, using the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, really cuts through so much intellectual diatribe, cuts through so many words and phrases that sound good on the surface, but in the end don't mean a great deal because people don't break down or pass or go deep into a word to the degree where they are able to fully comprehend or understand the word and then carry that word into practice. So according to the general understanding of human nature in this world, human nature encompasses the innate behaviors, emotions, and cognitive traits shared by humans, including the need for social connection, curiosity, survival instincts, and the capacity for both altruism and selfishness. Altruism is the opposite of selfishness. That's selflessness. Okay, altruism, where you literally, you might sacrifice, as Sister Claudia was saying, sacrifice yourself for another. Altruism, that's what it means. So altruism and selfishness, these are things that we are capable of according to this world's definition of human nature. Key examples include empathy, feeling somebody else's pain and being able to really identify, language use, fear of risk, and the pursuit of meaning. These traits evolved to help humans, and the fact that they use that term evolve, because they in this world they like to talk about evolution, where we're supposed to have started from a single cell amoeba and then metamorph into all of these different elements, coming through literally tadpolism into fishism into monkeyism and then evolving into human. But let me tell you for a minute, that never happened. God says in the scriptures, let us make man. He made a man, beloved, a man after his own image and likeness. We never evolved from no other creature into what we are today. The closest you can get to anything like that is the process of evolution that takes place in the womb. That's right. Where we may start looking like a tadpole in terms of that sperm. See?
And being in water.
Absolutely.
Like a fish.
Absolutely. And then being a so-called fetus, a feetless.
Yes.
You understand? And then evolving and growing into gestating for those 9 months in the womb and becoming a baby and then being born and literally coming out and now crawling like an animal on our all fours and then eventually standing upright. Yeah. See, Darwin wasn't that clever.
That is his theory.
Exactly. And remember what it's called, Darwin's theory of evolution. That's right. In other words, not proved, just a theory. These traits evolved to help ultimately to survive. Now, I write in the different color. I've written in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gives us greater and deeper insight into our true nature. Let's listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You may have heard some of this already.
Now, the only way, come on, we can have our genesis is somebody has to break the magnetic attraction between us as men and our oppressor. And somebody has to stop us from looking to him to fulfill our needs. But look to God and to yourself, and out of yourself become a producer once again. And that's why most didn't like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because Elijah Muhammad used strange language to break the magnetic attraction. He said the white man is the devil. And we said, oh, he teaches hate. He's awful. The white man, without the white man, we wouldn't have this. Without the white man, we wouldn't have that. Without the white man.
About that. Just think how some of us freak out when we hear that.
Yes.
Despite over 400 years of the worst treatment ever meted out to any people in the annals of history. That's what you and I have suffered. And yet we don't want to hear a bad word said against those who have done that. Because we know one who lived next door to us and he's a nice guy.
He's all right.
And the woman that, we go shopping, or the woman who takes care of our little baby in the kindergarten, and she's white, she's so nice. See, we misunderstand, family. We really don't understand the necessity to know truth that will set us free, to know the reality of that. What is it? It's like a corrupt magnetic attraction where opposites attract, where we look at them as literally our saviors because they've been indoctrinating us for hundreds of years to believe that they are Jesus, to believe that they are God, to believe that they are superior. This is where the term white supremacy, you can't find black supremacy in the dictionary. It's not been practiced. But white supremacy is a concept which is recognized because it's something that's been exported all around the globe.
That's right.
And by the way, primarily coming from this place called England.
That's right.
See, and we just have to understand, family, the reality of what has been done to us as a people, and that we cannot keep looking at our open enemy
That's right.
for the solving of our issues and our problems. Go ahead,
That's
Sister
right.
Claudine.
Because it's just sort of slipped my mind. But I was talking to a sister, telling her that we're always looking to get qualified from the white man. He can qualify me for this and that. But when you know how to do something, when it just comes out of you, I said, who's that from?
Come on now.
When you can just go to a piano and play it, no teacher.
Come on now.
Where's that from? When you
Exactly.
can go to a sewing machine and just sew.
Come on.
Where's that from?
Come on.
When you can just draw a picture.
Yes.
Fantastic piece of art. Where is that from?
That's right.
When you can go and fix a car and you've not studied. Where is that from?
My friend, you remember Brother Robert?
Yes.
Robert, oh my God. This brother, the things that this man could do.
Where is it from?
And he never was trained
That's
in
right.
that.
Where is it from?
Gifted, man.
Yes, gifted.
From within.
Exactly. My dad, he could build radios way back there.
Way back.
Where's that from?
Exactly.
See, we've lost that. We depend on we think their education is the only way. No, it's not.
It's not, beloved.
Don't have to go to those schools.
Stop it.
They're not the only ones who could feed us. We can feed ourselves.
We used to feed them. And that's the other thing. I mean, honestly, family, we talk about these things, and I know for some of us, it's like we think that we're dealing with some kind of mythology when we say how old Black people are.
That's right.
We've literally been on the planet as Black men and women for trillions of years. I didn't say billions.
That's right.
I didn't say millions. I said trillions.
Absolutely.
We are the ancient of days.
That's right.
But the Caucasian, he's only been here
for
for 6,000 years.
Yes.
He's brand new.
Right.
And he didn't float in from outer space. He came from the womb of the Black woman and the seed of the Black man. We manufactured him. We made him. He was genetically engineered from us.
That's right.
For a purpose. Oh, man. I hope you really, because honestly, I wish we would just understand why God came and how we can change our reality overnight if we would only act on what we are being taught.
Action. He said the white man is the devil. And we said, he teaching hate. He's awful. The white man, without the white man, we wouldn't have this. Without the white man, we wouldn't have that. Without the white man, shut up. Without the black man and woman, you wouldn't have no white man.
Park one day, and I was wearing a nice white suit. And this poor Black brother in the crowd said, yeah, but you're talking about white people, but look, you're wearing the white man's clothes. And I had to say, poor brother. You know, again, family, you see, we've been made so ignorant.
That's right.
That we think that this dress code was invented or created by the white man. No, family. When you and I were dressing in silk,
that's right.
We were the ones who fashioned these suits and gave it to him. When we were wearing silken robes, when we were wearing clothes that we cut and stitched and sewed and put together, he was on his all fours in the hills and cave sides of Europe grunting. This is real. It's not hate. It's just truth.
That's right.
He knows, man. What's the name of that movie? I've got to encourage you you've got to watch this movie.
Not that one.
A Space Odyssey,
Oh,
2001. You need to go back and revisit that movie because that movie is deep. When you see it, and you know, we didn't make the movie. Stanley Kubrick was a white man, the director. I think he may have even been the writer. But the point is that in that movie, it begins by showing you Caucasian people in the hills and cave sides of Europe covered in hair as cavemen grunted. And at a certain point in the movie, all of a sudden, the cavemen wake up one morning and there is a black obelisk standing in the middle of this wilderness, geometrically shaped, something that looked like it's from the modern era. It's obviously been machine tooled. It's not like a huge rock, something rough. This was something geometrically shaped, standing among these caves, and they were freaking out. And do you know what that represents? That represents a black man coming among them to teach them. This is what we're taught in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad when Musa or Moses came to them to lift them up and raise them up in the wilderness, lift them up and teach them some of the forgotten technology that they learned at their making, but they had forgotten having been exiled into the hills and cave sides of Europe. But when you see that movie, man, it's got symbolism and it's so powerful what it means.
Say the movie again so that
it's 2001, A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick. You should have a look at that movie. It's very interesting how they go from the cave into space. But we won't spend much more time on that one right now. Dear family, let's just let the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan finish this powerful clip.
Without the white man, shut up. Without the black man and woman, you wouldn't have no white man. So, the word devil only implied that they stood in opposition to God's law and way. And since God made you a producer and they said no nigger is gonna produce, they stood as an adversary. God made you to be free, they said enslave the nigger. God made you to justify your existence, and you haven't justified your existence by being yourself because you don't know yourself, and if you don't know yourself, you can't be yourself. So the enemy stands here keeping you from your destiny. So God has to remove the enemy from you and remove you from the enemy so you can have your Genesis. So in the beginning, when he made light, he separated the light from the darkness, and one part he called day and the other part he called night, and they don't coexist. When night comes, day goes. When day comes, night goes. If the white man is going to rule, you you are not going to make it. You keep under his rule, you will stay a nigger, hurt, dissatisfied, and your women will be just like they are right now. But until we as men recognize that white rule got to end where we are concerned, I don't know what the women want, and I don't really care, because they're going to follow us. If we start following God, ain't no place for the woman to go but to stand by our side and help us make a nation.
Yes, they are listening.
You see, because family, it's as simple as that. We're talking about the nature.
That's right.
It's not the nature of the black man to be bowing down to another man. That has to end. See? That's why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan wrote that powerful song, White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell. You're never going to reconcile the two things. We got to stop this idea thinking that we're going to rule together. It's not going to happen. That's like asking a lion and a hyena to work together in harmony. They are mortal enemies. And even though you think and I think in our ignorance that, oh no, we can be friends, the Caucasian, he don't think like that. When he sees us, he sees a threat to his complete mortality. How did our beloved sister, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, put it? She said he has a fear of genetic annihilation. He is afraid of our very genetics, because our genetics, our DNA is powerful while his is weak. Do you understand, family? This is Mendel's law that says that light skin is recessive, dark skin is dominant. Light eyes are recessive, dark eyes are dominant. You can take the recessive from the dominant, but you cannot get the dominant from the recessive. We are two distinct and different people. And this idea that some of us have, can't we all just get along? You don't understand. See, that's like, you know, we walk into places where we are so in danger. We are at war. We're in a war zone, but we behave as civilians and non-combatants. We think that we're among friends. No, family. No. And I know those of you who remain disbelieving of this reality, you're going to find out. See, I hope you're observing what's happening on our planet, because that mask of civility, he's not even wearing the mask anymore.
Yes.
I hope you're listening to Mr. Trump. I really do. And his cabinet. Because, man, when you hear what's coming out of their mouth, they're revealing now who they are.
That's right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad never lied to black people. He wasn't making up no stories. He wasn't some hate teacher. Just telling you plain truth. And you should go back and visit the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and look at how beautiful and calm and wonderful and humble he was while he explained these things. And one time some white man was interviewing him and he said, you know, you say that the white man is the devil. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, no, I never said it. He said, that's what he said, talking about the God who came in person.
That's right.
He revealed it to me. And I'm just telling you what he told me, fulfilling scripture, where the scripture says he will speak all that he is told to speak by God. That's what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan does as well. See, I don't take any credit for what I'm saying. I have magnificent teachers I'm just a baby student, dear family. That's who Sister Claudia and Brother Leo are. Little students of a mighty God who has raised men among us to teach us a profound knowledge of our nature, of Islam, what it means. And all we're trying to do is share it so that all of us can come out of this terrible, terrible condition.
That's right.
That we are currently in. Go ahead, sister.
I'm just going to read the Muslim program, what the Muslims believe. I'll just read point number 9, that we believe that the offer of integration is hypocritical and is made by those who are trying to deceive the Black peoples into believing that their 400-year-old enemies
is all of a sudden,
yes, of freedom, justice, and equality are all of a sudden their friends. Furthermore, we believe that such deception is intended to prevent Black people from realizing that the time in history has arrived for the separation from the whites of this nation. If the white people are truthful about their professed friendship towards the so-called Negro, they can prove it by dividing up America with their slaves. We do not believe that America will ever be able to furnish enough jobs for her own millions of unemployed, in addition to jobs for the 20 million Black people as well.
Wow.
That's why we got to know our program.
She's been laid out.
It's laid out. It's there.
Which book are you quoting from?
Well, it's at the back of the Final Call newspaper, but this is from Our Savior
has arrived.
At the back.
Dear family, as far as culture is concerned, it is an essential part of the way of life called in the Holy Quran, chapter 5, verse 3, it's called Islam. And it says, this day, this is the Holy Quran, this day have I perfected for you your religion and completed my favor on you and chosen for you Islam as a religion. Do you know that Islam is not a religion?
That's right.
Islam is a whole way of life. It comes with its own culture. See? But God has given it to us today as a religion, something that we can do religiously. Isn't God beautiful?
That's right.
And he codifies it in the Holy Quran. I've given it to you as a religion, but it's your very nature. I wonder if we understand.
It's in us already.
Look, family, culture, you can find it in Latin, French, English. All it means, it really means, when we say culture, it means to cultivate. It means to grow, to nurture something from one stage to a next stage. It's a powerful thing, culture. And today we refer to Black culture, and Black culture is winding ourselves up half naked,
having your trousers down
in some nightclub, or walking the streets with our trousers halfway around our hips, our upper thighs, or going with our breast out in the street, or being covered in tattoos with skulls and snakes and whatever kind of madness, with swords or whatever it is that we're tattooing on our body, or tattooing Chinese characters or Japanese characters on parts of our body. And the Chinese person, the Japanese person told us, well, it says that you are lovely. Really? And you believe, maybe it says you are lovely, or maybe it says something else. Do you really understand what those characters say? Or whatever it is that we put in all over ourselves, we're piercing, we're vaping, we're doing all of these things, and somehow we think this is Black culture. We're eating, what is it, collard greens? We're eating cornbread. We're eating all of this. I mean, some black people are still eating pig's trotters, eating pig's feet. We're still eating cow tongue. We're still eating oxtail, the tail of an ox, of a cow. We're still eating the waste products that was thrown at us during our enslavement, during our destruction and degradation. Now we think that this is soul food, black food. We're still eating boiled dumplings that just bloat us up in our stomachs and just make us, I mean, I could go on, man. You see? And these are the foods that are making us so ill.
That's right.
But we think it's black culture. We think black culture, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said at the beginning of today's show when he was talking, we think black culture is saying MF, calling one another MFs. We think black culture is calling our women the B word. We think black culture is calling one another dogs, my dog. This is not black culture. Black culture is Islam. Peace, freedom, justice, equality, righteousness, power. The black man is supposed to have power and dominion. As a black man, when we walk into a room, people are supposed to be, ooh. But now we walk in and we're just like, we're like a mouse. People don't respect us. Our women can't respect us. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, our woman today, she's in everybody else's bed. Why? Because there's no black man that she can look to whose head is full of God so that she will naturally see God and bow. Because that's her nature. Her nature is to want to be with God.
That's right.
And the Caucasian, he's manifesting that he's the God of his world.
That's right.
Oh, man. Do you think anybody's listening?
They are. They are.
Look, family, this day have I perfected for you your religion and completed my favor on you and chosen for you Islam as a religion. But, and I've written, but unfortunately the Arabs, Pakistanis and others often not appreciating that Islam as a whole way of life brings its own culture. So they have attempted to superimpose their own wayward cultural practices into and over Islam to the detriment and corruption of Islam's purity. So today, many of us think that in Islam, the woman has to walk 10 paces behind a man. That's got nothing to do with Islam. Today, many of us think that in Islam, the little girls, their fathers they're forced to marry some old man of the father's choosing, and that's Islam. Nothing to do with Islam. Some of us think that in Islam, there's such a thing as female genital mutilation, where part of Islam is you cut out the clitoris of the female. Nothing to do with Islam, but there are cultural practices by certain people who have come into the way of life and now put their own cultural practices in and claim that it's Islam. Today, when you see the woman wearing, what do they call it, a burqa?
Yes.
She looks like a pillbox with like literally you can't see nothing but maybe some eyes, and then the contradiction when you sometimes if you see the eyes are covered in makeup.
Yes.
But she's covered from head to toe. That's not Islam. That's not what the book says.
No.
The book says she should dress modestly.
Yes.
But guess what? The book also says that the man should dress modestly. Go ahead, sister.
And I was going to say why they dress like that was because when you're in the desert, you got to cover yourself from the sand to protect yourself.
Yeah, but not in
Not
black.
like that.
Not
No,
in
but
black.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you
Yeah.
cover yourself, but they've made it like that's the norm.
And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan explained to us that, see, our sisters today only cover, see, like my wife, she's got her hair covered, whatever, because we're living in a hostile world where women are not preyed on. Women are preyed on like, because men are now like beasts.
Yes.
So this is a protection for the female by carrying herself in this way, because our attitude as men should be, if your woman is dressed like this, modest and beautiful, and some beast desires to now do is evil to her, then that beast has to die. That's a good day to die, because what you are effectively doing when you see a righteous woman, so now you're now coming to rape or to interfere or molest with a nun. That's what it means. The dress code is to say, I'm a non-participant in your world. I am a queen. I am royalty. That's why I move the way I move. That's why I dress the way I dress. And I'm not showing you my wares. So you go over there, you stay over there. Don't come here. The dress code is very powerful.
That's right.
There's a reason for it, family. It's not to oppress the woman. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I was there. Okay, I can bear witness to a day when we were at the palace in the minister's home, in the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that home where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan lives, in the place of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in Chicago. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to the sisters, you can remove your headpieces if you desire, because you are now in a place of safety.
That's right.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
See? And when our world is established, our women ain't going to have to be all covered up, because hopefully at that time, as brothers, we will have shed ourselves of this lustful, wicked, nasty attitude that we have learned from our Caucasian masters, who, by the way, rape and pillage and vandalism and destruction is the order of the day. That's what they do as a matter of course. For those of you who are shocked when you see certain things happening around the world today, man, you ain't seen nothing in terms of what these people have been doing. Again, I never get tired of telling you this, because you need to know, for those of you who think that you're going to make friends, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that for every 1,000 years of their existence on our planet, did you hear what I said? On our planet, the planet belongs to the righteous. The planet belongs to the original people. For every 1,000 years of their existence on our planet, they have killed, slaughtered 100 million original people. For every 1,000 years. So that's 600 million that they have, to use this modern terminology, unalived. I mean, come on, family. I really hope you're going to think today. You see, because the Degeneration show, part of its design is to get you to get up and do something for yourself, not something stupid, not something violent, not something negative, not something hateful, but something to do with self-improvement. something to do with love of self,
That's right.
something to do with love of your woman, something to do with love of your children, something to do with love of your kind, something to do with love of family, something to do with love of nation. See, something to do with love of God.
That's right.
Because God is good.
Mm-hmm.
Dear family, Black people are true Muslims. Go ahead.
No, and I was going to say that's why the minister, he likes to encourage his sisters to wear pastel colors.
Yes.
To be different.
Yes. Doesn't she look beautiful?
Right, that's from the teachings, isn't it? Praise be
Yeah.
to Allah. But
Praise.
that's what it is, to be bright,
Praise.
be different.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. I feel like such a blessed human being, man, honestly. To have an MGT, to have a woman, a Muslim woman in my life who cares about me and my children and the nation and is desirous of helping me. Look, I'm telling you, family, and it's not that any of us is worthy. It's just that we want to try.
That's right.
To do what God says to do. You know what I'm saying in my prayers, in my heart and in my mind, in my prayers, I'm asking Allah, oh Allah, allow me to rise into your thinking. Allow me to occupy a little place in your mind so that I can be an expression of your will. This is my prayer, family. Yes. Oh man, I'm telling you, man. It's such a wonderful thing to be in love.
That's right.
To be in love with God.
Oh, absolutely.
To be in love with self.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's the beauty that, when you do your prayers, you're asking Allah that you want to die for him to come in you, so that when they see you, they see him. When they hear you, they hear him. That's how it's got to be. I look forward to that day. That's why you always got to say, all praise is due to Allah. Every little thing, all praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah.
When they praise you, when people say, you're so good, yes. All praise belongs to Allah.
Absolutely.
Everything. Because it really does. It really does, family. Because, God is so good, man, that he takes people, a wretch like me, and makes something out of us, man.
That's right.
It's magnificent. It really is.
That's right.
Because you see, one of the reasons why I'm able to speak the way I do, because I'm saying, my God, if you knew some of my history and my past and the madness that I used to be involved in, and look how God works. Look at his mercy to try to give us a new chance, an opportunity to live a decent and upright and righteous life. And I'm not saying to you that it's easy, but what I am saying is, Sister Claudia said it, hard trials are necessary to establish truth. And you and I should be striving to become an aspect of truth.
That's right.
So that when people see us, they say, man, that's the truth there. You understand? Truth walking. Dear family, Black people are true Muslims by our very nature. Not because we adopted or converted to a religion. The very essence of Islam is our natural way of life, which is peace and submission to do the will of God. That's what Islam is. This is what the Creator put in each of us from our inception in the wombs of our mothers. All the other religions that we claim to be following or practicing are derivatives of Islam, which is the parent from which they all stem. Oh, man. See, that's why when you examine a lot of the religions, Christianity and Judaism, whatever, you'll see commonalities. You'll see, there's most of the religions, you'll see that they say you should be good, you should be righteous, you should worship God, you should pray, you should fast, you should. So see, it's not like there's any contradiction there, but they all come from a parent, and that parent is complete submission to the will of God. Dear family, these are derivatives of Islam, which is the parent from which they all stem. Islam is the way and the law and order of the universe. The best and greatest definition of Islam comes from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he said, Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. It can be proved at no limit of time. See, I mean, we could spend several shows just talking on that. Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. But just understand this, because I think, for many of us, we just don't get it. We don't understand that everything in this universal order is mathematics.
That's right, everything.
Everything. You can't have anything unless you know mathematics. To produce this bottle, you better know some mathematics. You understand? To be able to calculate anything, to be able to build anything, mathematics. And it is Islam. There's no contradiction. Like these people try to tell you there's like some division between religion and science. No, Allah, God is the supreme scientist. He is the scientist. Like you in America, I don't think you're allowed to even mention God in some of these schools, whatever.
Yes,
it's like, there's a separation there. But God is the ultimate educator.
That's right.
How could you have a school and God is not at the center of the curriculum?
That's right. So whose curriculum are they following? Where's it come from?
See, we really think that these monks and these doctors of law and these so-called professors that they got up one day and they got this genius that they and it's devoid of God and somehow they're smarter than God. One of my daughters, when my then wife was giving birth to one of my daughters, we made the midwife redundant because we was having the baby at home, and the baby was born. The midwife was in our bedroom. We gave birth in the living room. I, helped the baby out and everything, cut the cord and all the woman was so angry. She was vexed. And then she went in her bag and took out a huge needle, a syringe, and squirted this liquid. And I said, "What's that? What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, this is vitamin K. We give it to the newborns. We inject them, I think, near the heel or something that, just in case their blood is not, it doesn't coagulate properly." I was so angry. I said, "Listen, you're not sticking my baby with anything." She threw the syringe back into her bag. She was so angry. But the arrogance of it. What do you think that means? That means she believes that God is so inadequate.
That's right.
At producing a healthy child that they have to step in immediately and help to preserve that child just in case God's mechanism doesn't work properly. I mean, look, family.
Exactly.
Honestly, if only we understood what we have done historically without these people.
That's right.
Without their interference, and what we must do now and what we must do in the future without their interference, without their intervention, and that the only intervention we need is the intervention of Almighty God Allah. You see, because honestly, we make a terrible mistake when we keep thinking that, this lesser God, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan mentioned earlier, these children of a lesser God. See, they are the children of Yaqub, one of our scientists who produced them. But they're not from the creator of the heavens and the earth. They're not from the beginning. They were made for a purpose. Well, another one of these days, we're going to have to go into the purpose again.
That's right.
As to why they're here. But we have to stop following them. We have to stop obeying them. We have to start obeying Almighty God. This is a different lecture. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is asking the question, what is a Muslim?
If you see these blacks in a savage condition, remember, Arab, what was your condition before the prophet came to you? And if God sent a prophet to you to clean you up from drunkenness and make you a respecter of your women and united you into tribes and into a nation, then why should you come to America and feed black people swine and alcohol and mock our condition and sleep with our senseless woman and laugh at us and take money back into your community and then don't even teach us nothing of what the prophet taught you? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Damn it. Look here, Muslims. Ain't nobody came after you. Don't you ever forget that.
That's right. Nobody.
Do you think that Prophet Muhammad would be pleased when your mission is to spread the Quran to the ends of the earth? Who brought the Quran to us? You didn't bring us no damn book. You didn't do a damn thing for us. You walked over us. You walked by us. You never invited us to your mosque. Damn self-righteous hypocrite.
I hope you're listening, because you see, some of us, again, still very ignorant, where we think that we're trying to call our people to self-righteous hypocrites who call themselves Muslims, who are other than our own black people. No, family. We understand that not everybody who claims to be a Muslim is actually a Muslim. We understand that not everyone who claims to be practicing Islam is practicing Islam. When an enemy comes, he comes in righteous garments. It was so-called Christians who came and enslaved us, kept coming on a shit named Jesus, like mockery. And so-called Arab Muslims who came and enslaved some of our people on the continent of Africa as well. We know this, but they were not practicing Islam. They were practicing a filthy, dirty religion in the name of Islam. Damnable heresies crept in while men slept. Understand? When an enemy comes, when an unrighteous man comes, he comes pretending to be righteous. He comes in the garment of the righteous. See? So I don't think that we're trying to invite you now to become Arab or Pakistani. Do we look Arab or Pakistani to you? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan addresses them.
That's right.
He talks to them. He tells them the reality of what they do in the black community, selling us pork and alcohol and all the rest of it while claiming to be Muslim. Same thing over here in the UK. Running off license, selling alcohol,
That's right.
selling all kinds of filth, dirty magazines on the top shelf. and then go to the mosque on Friday and pray Jummah. Come on, man. We're very aware.
That's right.
Time to wake up, black people.
But when Elijah Muhammad began talking to us, all of a sudden you become interested because he ain't teaching us the right Islam. What is the right Islam? To be like you? What is the right Islam?
Listen.
You're the real Muslims. But President Clinton can butts your button. And your kings and your rulers bow down like little sissies. What is the real Islam? When our Muslim brothers who are white in Bosnia, women being raped, Muslim children being killed, and the Muslim world stands by like a group of faggots because the United Nations said you can't give weapons to your own brother to fight to defend his own land. You gonna tell me what a real Muslim is?
I hope you understand who and what you're listening to. This is the real Muslim.
That's right.
And it's sad how so many of us don't understand, and we think that a Muslim is because he's wearing a beard and a long dress, a jalabiyah, and that's what makes a Muslim.
Right.
Look, man, anybody can put on fancy dress.
That's right.
What is a real Muslim? One who makes salat? A damn devil could bow down, jackass. Devils can prostrate. Devils can make sajda. That don't mean you're a Muslim because you pray like one. A Muslim is what a Muslim does. Your whole life should be devoted in service to Allah. And don't tell me it's just prayer and fasting during the month of Ramadan and paying a little jive zakat. God damn it, it's going out, getting the people in the mud and freeing a slave and lifting your people. And if you're not doing that, don't talk to me about what a true Muslim is. You're nothing but a damn hypocrite.
I mean, you know, I don't have to say anything. There's questions here. One brother is saying, Monofinilo, Brother Leo, how do you...
Man of Nile, is it?
Man of Nilo. Brother Leo, how do you explain the enslavement of millions of Africans in Zanzibar? Would it be fair to tell an African from Zanzibar and Sudan to practice Islam? Yeah, of course it would be fair to practice real Islam.
That's right.
Not that nasty crap that some Arabs brought and then tried to destroy some of the people in Sudan with. In Sudan, you got black people right now who are beautiful Muslims. I mean, come on, man. So, Almighty God Allah is so beneficent and merciful that he makes the practice of Islam simple for us by giving us just 5 standard pillars to follow to justify our claim to be a Muslim. But there is so much more to Islam than the 5 pillars, which will determine our outcome in life, depending on whether we are foremost in our efforts towards oneness with Allah through faith, virtue, and good deeds to others. See, it's all about what we do, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan just said. See, anybody can talk good, but forget the talk, watch the walk.
That's where it's at.
That's what we got to do, watch the walk. If we are those of the right hand, because we observe the 5 pillars and act as righteous believers who live lives of piety and virtue, or if we end up as people of the left hand who are the wicked disbelievers or those who reject the truth. Very simple, beloved. It's not, see, this is not rocket science. It's not really complicated. You see, it's either we're going to do good
That's right.
or we're going to do other than good. And then there's a consequence for everything. So the first pillar is shahada, which means to bear witness to the oneness of Allah. The second pillar is prayer, to pray 5 times a day. The third pillar is zakat, giving in charity. Salat is the second pillar, salat, which means in Arabic, it means prayer. The third pillar is zakat, which means to give in charity. And the fourth pillar is swam, which means belief in the hereafter, believe that there is something that's going to be happening here after the destruction of this wicked world. It's going to be a much more beautiful and cohesive and wonderful existence for the believers. And the fifth pillar is Hajj, or pilgrimage to Mecca. Muslims are encouraged to try to do this at least once in their lifetime. But I'll tell you this, family, for those of us in the Nation of Islam, in particular those of us in the United Kingdom and in other parts of the world that is not in North America, I'm telling you, man, when we make that pilgrimage to Chicago or Detroit, to our Savior's Day, that's a pilgrimage in and of itself, where we circumnavigate the black stone called Elijah and Farrakhan. You see, because they're the ones, dear family, who have taught us about Islam.
The real
Islam. The real Islam. Not some fake Islam or some fake Christianity or some fake Judaism, because, understand that the devil has hijacked religion. Religion is his ultimate playground. That's where he likes to operate. That's where he likes to hang out the most. Dear family, continuing with this world's understanding of human nature, it refers to the fundamental innate disposition, including thinking, feeling, and acting, that characterize humankind. When they use words like humankind, that's the same as mankind, a kind of human, a humankind, not a full human. Understand this. You got to understand the language that's used. It encompasses key aspects like curiosity, emotion, reasoning, and social behavior. These traits are often studied through the lens of evolution, and biology, which interact with environmental factors, nature versus nurture. Nature is the natural world, and the nature of the human being. Our nature is Islam. Our nature is submission. But you can be nurtured into that if you have a good mother, a good father, a good teacher, a good parent, a good guide to nurture us. Almighty God Allah is the ultimate nurturer. That's why we refer to him sometimes as Rab, one who nurtures a thing from one stage to the next. He grows us. This is the cultivation of the human being. God never leaves us alone, family. He is trying to help and guide us all the time. It's we in our ignorance who move away from Almighty God Allah and his nurturing, loving, caring hand. Dear family, to shape behavior, philosophers and scientists debate whether this represents a fixed essential nature or a variable product of evolution. See, they're constantly debating in the Western world. Among the white people, they have these huge debates about whether it's nature or nurture, about whether or not there's a fixed nature or a variable product of evolution, because they don't know. And that's why I've written here, some of the above stems from scientific evaluation, while much of it, not having got it at the center of it, remains speculative, guesswork, and conjecture without certainty. They don't know. They don't know like the leader and teacher and guide that we've been given.
Now I want to look at the nature of man and the nature of woman. Because unless we know the nature of a thing, we don't understand the actions of that which we're looking at. Y'all all right? Look at the Bible. It says, after God made the man, he said, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it. And he gave the man power and dominion over the fowl of the air, the fish of the sea, and every creeping thing that crawls upon the earth. Do you know why there's not a lot of men in the church, but there's a lot of men in Union Temple Baptist? You don't see men like this in churches.
No, you don't.
You don't see men like this in churches. Church got a lot of old men, tired men. Am I telling the truth? The youth are in the street. They're not coming to church, but they come here. What is it about a man that makes a man attracted to the gospel? And what is it about a woman that makes us so attracted to the gospel and to the man Jesus?
Yes, sir.
Oh, brother.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on.
If by nature God gave man power and dominion, then men cannot be a man unless he has power in order to exercise dominion.
Let me just, again, Man of Nilo says, my mind is perplexed. To my understanding, Arabs brought Islam in the 7th century in North Africa. We never practiced Islam prior to 7th century in Africa. So how can we say Islam is ours in nature? See, this is what I'm saying. This is the ignorance that we believe the history that's been given to us just yesterday locally, that Arabs brought Islam. No, family. Long before the Arabs, and by the way, the Arabs couldn't exist unless they came via black people. We produced the Arabs. And Arab is an admixture of black and white. Okay? But the original Arab, the original man is the Arab, the black man. See? But understand this, family. The nature, we never had to even give our practice a name. It comes out of the black man like a web comes out of a spider. It is our nature, Islam. When the Arabs came, now they've learned Islam because Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, received the revelation 1,400 years ago. That's when they received Islam. And now it's been given a name and codified in a book called the Holy Quran. But long before that, we knew Islam by nature. That's what we were practicing. That's why the history of Bilal, the first muezzin, the caller to Islam, the one who said Allahu Akbar, and called the faithful to the religion, Bilal heard that there was a man in the Arabian Peninsula, Prophet Muhammad, teaching the old time religion. In other words, Bilal already knew the religion.
That's right.
See? But this is where we go wrong. We think that, black people were just sitting there,
Right.
waiting for somebody to come in the 7th century and give us a religion. Stop it, brother. When they came, they met righteous, powerful, beautiful people. And the Arabs who, prior to receiving the revelation, were, oh man, if you knew what they were doing, if you knew how low down they were. It's like Christianity. We think that the white man invented Christianity. No, he didn't. Long before the white man took hold of Christianity, the Ethiopians, Christians, going all the way back to David's throne. This is where it comes from. But the white people come in, they take it, the Arabs come in, take it, and then twist it and use it in a wicked way. See, it's like, what do they say? Money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. It's how you use it. If you take money and you purchase an incubator for a sick child that needs to be kept alive, isn't that a good thing? But if you take the money and go and purchase a 357 Magnum pistol and start going around shooting people, it's not the money that's evil, it's the use to which it's put. So these books, this beautiful Holy Quran, in the hands of a wicked deceiver, then as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said earlier on, then the preachers become pimps. And they tell the women, oh, you know, God said. And some of us are so ignorant, we won't read for ourselves.
That's right.
So we just go along with what the imam has said, or the cleric has said, or the priest has said. So in the Catholic faith, you got all of these people falling down on little boys and little children and molesting children, pedophiles. But do you think that's what God taught? Do you think that's what the original man was practicing? Come on, man, wake up and stop this nonsense where you are perplexed. Perplexed about what? Good is taken and used in evil ways by evil, wicked people. That's what you've got to understand. We're not practicing that kind of Islam that comes and enslaves people. The devil can't make something new. He has to come and use a good thing in a wicked way. I hope you understand, because, man, I don't know how anybody can be confused.
That's the nature of every man. And whether you agree with me or not, in his nature, he knows he's supposed to have some power.
Yes, sir.
And he knows he's supposed to have rule, especially in his own house. And therefore, if he does not have the knowledge of how to establish his rule,
Yes, sir.
and the woman see him,
This is what we
weak,
should be focusing on, especially as black men. Where's your power, black man? Where is your power? Where is the black man's power? Because this is where we're falling down. This is where we're falling down today. We like to talk, but we don't like to walk and manifest real God power.
and he knows he's supposed to have rule, especially in his own house. And therefore, if he does not have the knowledge of how to establish his rule,
Yes, sir.
and the woman see him weak and ineffective, then she look at him and say, I ain't bowing down to this. I ain't gonna respect this. Why, I control him. Anytime I want him to do something, I know what to do for him.
Understand what the minister is saying here? See? Because some of us as men, we are so weak that a woman can control us just by what she has between her legs or what she has on her chest. And I'm telling you, brothers, as long as that's who we are, as long as we can just be led like that and we're led from beneath our waist, man, this has got to be the place that leads. This has got to be the central intelligence. This has got to be, this is where God lives, not below the waist. But too many of us, that's where we are. That's where we're at. Go ahead.
What lecture is this?
This lecture is Let Us Make Man from 1993. Our Genesis, the making of a new black man. This is from 1993, Union Temple Baptist Church in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
You should be able to find it, family, on YouTube.
So it becomes a game that we play. You use your nature as a woman to put him in a condition where you can manipulate him and guide him around by his nose. So the Bible said, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. That's not the nature in which
who are their oppressors. Talking about us, the children who are their oppressors. That's the Caucasian. These are little children. These are little children who rule over us, who oppress us, and then we are led by women because we've become just sexual deviance, and we think that that's what life is all about. I remember watching that movie, you know, Belly. You remember Belly?
Yes, yes.
And you know, when the sister was chastising the man, like, you know, trying to get him to deal with certain things or whatever, and his answer was just to fling her down on the bed and have sexual intercourse with her. That was how we solve the problem of a domestic issue. Man, I'm telling you, family, if we think that's where it's at.
God created this thing to go.
No.
And she can't respect no man that she rules. I'm going to say that again.
You got that.
She cannot respect any man that she rules because her dominion is over children.
That's right.
And when she rules you, you become her child. And that's why, take it or leave it, and that's why your favorite word is that MF word, because she's your mother instead of your wife. You wasn't looking for a wife, because when you look for a wife, you're looking to carry out a responsibility and a sacred duty. But when you're looking for a mother, you're looking for somebody to nurture you and take you by the hand and stroke you and do all kind of childish things to comfort a sniveling, crying little black baby. And that's why adultery is in the house of the black man. That's why our women don't stay in our bed. Anybody's bed will do, because she's still on the hunt, not for Red October, but for a black man in September.
A black woman is looking for a black man. Do we appreciate that, brothers? She is frustrated, looking for a black man.
And as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches, that the black woman is not an adulterer by nature. She's made that by circumstance.
That's right. She's not that by nature. She's that because she's hunting, looking for a man, a strong man of God to be in her life.
That's right.
And when she looks around, man, all she can see is little boys wearing the garments of a man. Dear family, more from this world's definition of Islam reads as follows. Islam is a monotheistic Abrahamic religion centered on the Quran, which the followers are called Muslims, believe is the direct word of God, Allah, as revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, meaning submission to the will of God. That's all true. It is the world's second largest religion, focusing on peace. I mean, I don't know about world's second largest religion. We haven't got time today to really go into how Islam is made manifest in the world and how Christianity, which is the one they want to claim to be the largest, is manifest in the world. But just understand this. In the Western Christian world, the largest buildings are sport and play, football stadiums. In the Islamic world, the largest buildings are mosques, okay? Dedicated to the worship of God. So which one is the largest religion on the planet? Think about it, family. It is the world's second largest religion, focusing on peace, charity, and faith, with key practices centered on the 5 pillars. And yet, this is what we wrote, and yet it is still so much more than one of the 3 faith traditions competing for religious space and supremacy. Dear family, have patience, and you will see that what the Nation of Islam teaches will soon come to birth before our eyes.
God allowed you to rule over his people, and you have not ruled with justice. You have set up a rule based on white supremacy. I am better. That's the way you set up your rule. I am better.
I'm better. All dark people, ain't nothing happening.
That's it.
The blacker you are, shame, shame, shame. And if you look at us as black people in every religion, we catching it, boy. White folk were the first Baptists, and they didn't treat us right, so we broke away from them and we became second Baptists. Am I lying? Talk to me, Baptists. You know I'm telling it right. Your master on the plantation said I'm a Methodist. Naturally, you took his name. He was Mr. Jackson, you became Jackson. He was Mr. Washington, you became Mr. Washington. But if he was a Methodist, you call yourself, I'm a Methodist, like my master. Who you is? I'm a Methodist. I'm Jackson, a Methodist. I'm Henry Thomas, a Baptist. I'm Lawrence Jones, a Catholic. And when the Methodists didn't treat us right, we moved from them and we became the African Methodist Episcopal. Because white folk haven't treated us right in no religion. And you know I'm right, Muslims. I go in my Muslim world. And I've chided them. I beat the hell out of them, man. I sit with the rulers. They have my black brothers serving tea and coffee.
All the time. Go ahead.
And the black one tipping in. And I gotta sit there and watch my brother humiliated. I went to Kuwait.
Go ahead.
And a little Kuwaiti brother throwing his headdress back. And he called my black brother in to serve us coffee. And the way he acted, I just whipped him. You know, in the presence of the black brother. The brother shaking. He got out the door. He found out where we stayed, and that night he snuck by the hotel. He said, I'm a graduate of Al-Azhar University. Had his master's degree, and he was running around like a flunky for an Arab who didn't have his credentials, but he was black. You can't tell me racism don't exist in the world of Islam.
Right.
Racism exists in the whole world of religion. The bloodstream of religion is corrupted. I am better than you, and because you are black, you are not supposed to be able to be in scholarship. The Mormons just recently admitted us. They got a new revelation. And you keep going for this, wanting to be approved and accepted by white people. So you make a damn fool out of yourself so that white people can accept you. Now they give you blue eyes. You can go buy you some blue eyes. You can blonde your hair and make a damn fool out of yourself so that white folk can accept you. And they laugh at you because you have no respect for yourself. I wouldn't give none of them the credit. They told me, Minister Farrakhan, you cannot dress in suit. You must dress like the prophet. He dressed in dressing, and you must grow a beard, and this is the way the prophet was, and you must represent that.
He sat me down to dinner, and he went and put his hand in the bowl, because they eat with their hands. They wash their hands, and it's this Eastern and African way, you know. And I said, "Do you have a fork?" He said, "Oh, brother, we have fork, but this is the way the prophet ate. And if you eat like this, you will have many blessings." I said, "Brother, do you have a fork?" He said, "But don't you want the blessings?" I said, "Those are blessings I don't need. Bless me with a fork."
See, when you're a man, you don't have to follow people's spooky stuff.
That's right.
And try to be other than yourself. Try to be some Arab, or try to be some white man or some white woman. No, be yours. See, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is trying to show you that as a black man. Oh, man.
And then I just whipped his behind.
Yes, sir.
I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "You want to tell me about the dress of the prophet? The prophet rode a camel. I seen you ride up in a Benz. Where the hell is your camel?"
You see, we will follow them, and they will teach us this foolishness, and the next thing you'll see us on a camel while he's in his Benz. You see, that's how they've made black people foolish, where they've got us in the church, they've got us in the mosque, they've got us doing these things while they're living in palaces and living large. And man, I'm telling you, family, we got to really wake up today.
Prophet didn't live in no damn palace. Why don't you get a tent?
Teach good.
I said, "You are a people that strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Look beyond my dress and see me as I am. Don't try to make me an Arab. I am a black man." Some of them said to me, "We are so happy you have accepted our religion." I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "When did it become yours?" I said, "That's not what the Quran says. The Quran said that Islam is the nature of God and the nature in which he created man. So before there was a Prophet Muhammad, Islam was. It just got the name. When the Prophet came, the system of religion that we practice naturally. You don't need a Quran or Bible if you're living the life. When you deviate from the straight path, God sends prophet with revelation to guide you back. These books are guides. But if you were on the natural path, you don't need a Bible, you don't need a Quran, you live it from the nature of yourself. You are born by nature of the righteous.
Do you think we understand, Sister Claudia?
We'll see.
We'll see. Praise be to Allah. Thank you. Thank you so much, family. Thank you so much. I pray that something that was shared this evening really has sparked your imagination, image a nation, and that you will go away and do your studies and do your research, and that you will appreciate the time and what must be done, that you will appreciate who you are. You are righteous by nature, you're a Muslim by nature, and it's your time to rise, family. Thank you. May Allah bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All praises due to Allah. That was a three-course meal that
Praise
you
be to Allah. And I really thought we was going to be short tonight, you know, really. I really felt like I didn't have very much to share, but
evidently
praise
you
be
did.
to Allah.
All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. So don't forget, family, tune in to the Final Call Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to hear the teachings through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. As I always say, keep feeding on the word. The more you feed on the word, the more you'll internalize it, and you'll be surprised how much it changes you when you hear righteousness. Let's wean ourselves off these silly TV programs, silly radio stations, and we've got the Final Call radio station right there, and it's free, but
24/7.
Yeah, 24/7. But you can make a donation to the radio to help it develop. So feel free to log on to there, and also subscribe to the Final Call newspaper, the only newspaper that is unbought and uncompromised. There you can hear the truth of what's really going on in the world, instead of these silly newspapers that are written by Satan.
That's right.
To shape our minds. And don't forget, tune in to NOI.org every Sunday to hear the teachings through the student ministers. Last week's lecture was very good. What was it entitled again? It was Fire Fed with Fuel. And it was a brilliant lecture, absolutely brilliant. So, and if you missed that lecture, you can tune in on media.noi.org, and there's hundreds of lectures there to feed. Let's feed our mind with right guidance.
Yes.
And thank you.
Also, our brother from Sweden,
Ishmael,
came in late.
Yes.
Don't forget, you can catch it up, man.
Yeah,
you can watch it again.
YouTube.
Watch it on YouTube. Watch what we shared this evening.
That's
so
right.
even though you came in late, thank you for your presence, and tune in again on YouTube and watch the whole thing.
That's right. But our brother Ishmael Cisse, he has been with us from day one,
from the beginning.
Yeah. So praise is due to
Praise
Allah.
be to Allah.
And I'm just going to leave us with this. I read him from a little bit from the Holy Quran. It's Surah 57, entitled The Iron, and this is for us. Just remember these words. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. O you who believe, keep your duty to Allah and believe in His Messenger. He will give you 2 portions of His mercy and give you a light in which you shall walk, and forgive you. And Allah is forgiving and merciful. So whatever we're going through in our life, keep your duty to Allah. He will forgive you. This world may not forgive you, but Allah will forgive you. And He will give you light. And when you have light, you can see.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And inshallah, next week.
Same time, same place, inshallah, if Allah spares our life.
Absolutely.
We look forward to seeing you, family.
Yes. And take care, stay safe.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of mad people.